The homework police has already pulled over a bunch of students in Mrs. Lehman's class for not showing their work. Just kidding. This is Mrs. Lehman from Math with Mrs. Lehman, and I am here with my 4th period class. They are convinced we're going to go viral. Now, kids, that means something different than catching a virus, right? Like you could catch a cold. Okay, I just want to make sure you knew because that's probably the only viral thing that's going to happen. Okay, anyway, we have a bell ringer today. This is going to be lesson 14, I believe. But we're going to start with a bell ringer from Module 1, which seems like it was decades ago, but it was actually just in September. So, who can read this question for our viewers? Trisha will.
A case of juice has 12 bottles of juice. A case costs $15.60. What is the unit rate?
Very good. So you guys don't have all of that written in front of you, but you probably written down some key info, right? 12 bottles of juice is what a case is made up of, and that whole case costs $15.60. So it's looking for the unit rate. Can anyone tell me what the unit rate means? Not everyone at once. I mean, it's hard to pick just one kid when you all have your hands up. Dylan.
Rate for, like, your, I forgot.
Units. Think of Una. Unicycle has how many wheels? 3? That's a tricycle, kids. Oh, gosh. All right. Oh, can't make this stuff up. All right, so a unicycle has 1, right? When we're talking about a uniform, everyone's wearing the same one outfit, right? They're not all on the same shirt. You get what I'm saying? I was like, that kind of sounds like they're all crammed into the same outfit, but no, they all have their own outfit, but they all look like they are, one and the same. Let's see, what else? You guys have played the game Uno, right? And in Spanish, the word Uno means 1. So when it's saying unit rate, it means the price for 1, okay? So, anyway, how would we go about finding the price of 1 bottle of juice? If we know the price of all of them, we know how many that amount is made up of. So what operation would I have to do? These kids wanted to record, and then it was like, oh, nobody wants to answer anything. Welcome to my world. All right, Maria, thank you for saving us.
Division.
Division, very good. I see that Maria has her glasses on today because they help with division. All right, so we are going to divide. Chloe hasn't heard that joke yet. It's a good one, though, don't you think? No, she won't admit that. Okay, so $15.60, and we have 12. Now, do I divide $15.60 by 12 or 12 by $15.60? Because trust me, I've seen kids do a lot of bad math over the years. So which one is the correct way? This is sad, kids. If this makes it to YouTube, I'll be shocked. All right. Dylan again. No. He's back. Come on, kids. What do you divide by what? Trisha.
12 on the outside and 15 and 66.
Beautiful. All right. So we want price per bottle when we're done, right? So we're going to take the money, and that's the one on the operating table that's going to be split up, divided up by our divisor, 12, okay? So you guys are not 25 yet, so you have to write this down the side whenever you do long division. What's the rest of it? McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw. I did not come up with that. All right, so D stands for division. 12 goes into 15 how many times? Once. We multiply, we get 12. Next step is to subtract. We get 3. Now we have this little decimal point. What do we do with a decimal point when we are dividing, Drake?
Put it up.
Put it up there, yep. So we're going to put that right there. And we know that we need to bring down our 6. How many times does 12 go into 36? 3 times. All right, and then this is money. Well, and we get 36. Whoops. Subtract, we get 0. We could do all this, but we know we need to have 2 decimal spots for money. All right, so it's $1.30, $1.30, and what else do we say? Per bottle. Now, I'm sorry, viewers, you do not get to see that we have a magical creature in our classroom right now. He does a lot of purring, this one. And I recommend you watch the video if you search YouTube for Ratey the Rate Cat. You will find, you know, this little guy. Like I said, he purrs a lot. He only talks in rates, okay? Any questions on any of this? Finding the unit rate. All right, I'm going to pause the video for a second. Okay, so now we are going to find 5% of 60. So this again is something, bless you, that we learned in Module 1, but it's never going away. So you have a few options. You have 2 options for solving this problem. Does anyone have any words of wisdom on what we should do? I'm seeing lots of blank papers. They have mathnesia. They have forgotten their math. I see a child with no bell ringer notebook. Oh, you do. She was hiding it just to make sure I didn't know that she knew what she was doing. Well, it's hard to know when your work is hidden from me. Okay, she's flipping. Okay. What's the answer? All right, let me ask you a question. How many, this is what a lot of kids earlier today did. How many of you took 60 and divided it by 5? And you'd say 12. Wrong. Okay, that's wrong. Don't do that. All right, I'm going to give you a hint. Line equals line. What do we call that fanciness? All right, Dylan really wants to answer that.
Yeah, you just put like 100 under one line, like 100%.
Very good. Yeah. Percents are out of 100. But before we do that, what do we call this, Katie?
A proportion.
A proportion. They're laughing at themselves. All right, so we know percents are out of 100. I said those are like free gummy bears, right? You're going to take advantage of the fact that you have free gummy bears. So we're going to take advantage of the fact we know percents are out of 100. 5. I just gave that away. Wow, that was way too easy for you guys. Percents go out of 100, all right? Now, the key thing is we need to figure out where we put this 60 business, all right? Madison, do you think you know? On the bottom, very good. Why did you choose the bottom? Well, we don't know what the other number is, so we can't say it's because it's the bigger number. But do you guys remember a little saying that you guys learned? Is over of equals percent out of 100. Very good. So we can also say part over whole equals percent out of 100. And the words is and of give us clues to which number is the partial amount and which is the whole quantity. And this obviously says of 60. That's why we put the 60 on the bottom. Okay? So to get from one side to the other, we look at this 100 to 60. That's not going to work too well. What can we do with this ratio right there? Trisha, nice and loud. Simplify it. Yeah, so we can simplify this. 5 100 simplifies down to what? Nope. How many times does 5 go into 5? Once. How many times does it go into 100? 2, and then add the 0 on the end, right? Because we know 5 goes into 10 2 times, but we're talking about 100. Okay, so now we are trying to get from this side to this side. We're looking for that connection. So 20 times what will give us 60, everybody? 3. And we do the same thing to the top. So 1 times 3 is 3. So what is 5% of 60? 3. Yeah, 3. All right, so 3 is our answer. The other option for solving that, when you are finding percent of a number, you can convert the percent to a decimal. What is 5% as a decimal? Drake? Very good, 0.05. And then you take your decimal that you converted it to and multiply by the number. All right, bring it in 2 spots, you would get 3. Okay, so you have 2 options there, but that only works when you're finding percent of a number. All right, if it said 3 is 5% of what number, you wouldn't be able to do that method. Okay, any questions there? All right, I'm going to pause the video. All right, so now we're going to actually go over your homework at the end of class. So we're going to flip to page 54, I believe. All right, and we are going to talk about a thing called ordered pairs, which is lesson 14. Yes, straight? Yes, you can sharpen your pencil. You don't have to ask for that. All right, page 54, okay? So we're skipping ahead a little bit. Ordered pairs. You guys have seen ordered pairs in the past, but hold on a sec. Okay, so sorry about the interruption. We just had a very exciting delivery of graph paper. So it was perfect timing because we're learning about ordered pairs. Who can tell me what an ordered pair is? Does anyone remember? All right, everyone flip to page 55 in your module book and then see if that rings a bell. Oh yeah, okay. So 6th grade is a lot of fancy terminology for some things you've already been introduced to. All right, so ordered pairs. Another word for those are called coordinates. So everybody write this down, please. There's a very specific way that you write coordinates. They go in parentheses. Now, we see the word pair, right? Ordered pairs. That means, pair means how many numbers? 2, right? A pair of shoes means that you have 2 shoes, right? A pair of glasses means that there's a spot for 2 eyes. Pair of headphones, there's 1 for each ear, therefore 2. So we have 2 numbers, and we're going to put them in a specific order. The first number that you're going to put always represents what we call the x coordinate, and the second number represents your y coordinate. So as we move on, we're going to talk about some of this stuff more in depth, but today's kind of like an intro. We'll continue this lesson tomorrow. But here is a little picture of a coordinate plane, all right? Now, when you guys were in the younger grades, you primarily looked at quadrant 1, which is this section right here, okay, in the upper right-hand corner, all right, where everything is positive and nice and happy, right? Well, there are 3 other quadrants. Now that you're in 6th grade, we're going to talk about some coordinates that have negative numbers. So that means instead of going to the right, you might move to the left, or instead of going up, you might actually move down. So that's one change from last year. And we need to make sure that we always plot our x coordinate first, okay? So we need to figure out how far over to the right or left we go. And I remember that the x axis is the one that's horizontal because it can be squished like that, right? And I remember that the y axis is the vertical one because that y has a nice long vertical tail, okay? So just little memory tricks. All right, so the first number of an ordered pair is called the x coordinate. And the second number is always going to be our y coordinate. So some things that you need to be comfortable with now that you're in 6th grade when it comes to plotting points and identifying the coordinates of points include partial numbers, right? We could have some decimals, we could have some fractions, we could have negative numbers, right? We could have a 0. That means we don't move at all if we have a 0, right? For say we have a 0 x coordinate, it means we don't move right or left. We only are moving up or down. So we're going to actually skip to the next page, but I have a joke of the day for you. It says, I see you have some graph paper. You must be plotting something. Ah. That was cute, Katie. All right, anyway. Okay, so the fake laughter erupts. Okay, so we have primarily quadrant 1 here in this first exercise, okay? And it says the first coordinates of the ordered pair represent the numbers on the line labeled X. So again, the first coordinate is always where you move right or left first, okay? And then the second coordinate represent the numbers on the line labeled on a line labeled Y, labeled Y. So over and up. Now, some people in the past have said that they've had teachers tell them, like, oh, if you're flying a plane, first you have to go across the runway, and then it takes off, right? Well, that's fine and good when you're only dealing with quadrant 1 where everything's positive. So I like to use this example a little bit better that I've stolen and modified from other teachers. The saying could be, first you crawl, then you climb or fall, right? So when you're a little kid, you crawl all over the place, right? You guys have little siblings probably, or you guys were little kids once? Yep, okay. So anyway, you crawled all over the place, and that got boring, right? You climbed this way, that way, or you crawled all over. Then you started climbing up things, right? You looked at things on the shelf. Oh, what's up there? Oh, what's that up on the counter? All right, or you were looking down the stairs, and hopefully your parents gated off the stairway so you didn't fall down them. But you're looking down the stairs. Oh, what's down there? All right, so again, you got to go over, and then you start going up or down. Seems silly to explain it, but you have to remember that. So it's X, Y. All right, 1, 4. Who can tell me what point is at 1, 4? 1, 4. LJ.
F.
F. Very good. Point F is 1 over and up 4. So we're going to put a capital F here because points are written with capital letters. All right, 4, 1. Who can tell me what 4, 1 is? Like 3 kids have their hands up, literally. Drake.
B.
B, very good. 5, -2. Oh my goodness, there's a negative number. All right, 5, -2. So we go over 5 and then -2. What would that be, Maddie?
G.
G, very good. 2, -1. Genevieve.
C.
Very good. All right, 0, 5. Now there's a 0 in here, so think carefully. It's X, then it's Y. All right, 0, 5. Tricky business. What do you think, Viv?
A.
Very good. There's no trick in Vivian. All right, you guys see that you kind of have a 0. That means you just don't move that direction. So you don't move right or left. You just go up then. All right. Oh, no. You warned me about this. 8.5. There's a partial number. Trisha, what do you think? L, yeah. See, this isn't that difficult. 4.2. Now, be careful on this one. You look in that area. There's 2 letters, but we're going to use our deductive reasoning to figure out what it is. LJ.
H.
H, very good. Why did you pick H over or instead of D?
Because it's 4.2 and D looks more like 4.8
Very
because it's
good.
closer to 5.
Yep, perfect. Something to add, Genevieve?
Mine's next answer.
Oh, she's way ahead of the game here. So H, and then Genevieve 0, 9 would be E. Very good. All right, so for the next set of examples, you are going to list the ordered pair. So we're going to do the first one together, and then I'm going to set you loose on the rest. So point M. Who can tell me the coordinates for point M? So X coordinate first. Drake?
5.
Okay, 5, what?
7.
Very good. All right, why don't you work with the person next to you, your table partner, and go ahead and complete parts A through I. All right, we're going to quickly go through this. Point N is what? 6, 0. Good. Point P.
2, 3.
Point P. You're on the wrong point, LJ. 0, 6. Everybody check your 0, 6. Now, typically, we would label this point like this. All right. Point Q would be what? 2, 3. Very good. Point R. Good. And point S? Point T, pointy. Negative. They're like robots now. Wahahaha. All right, point U. Again, double check to make sure you're putting these in parentheses and that you have the correct number first, all right? So we're going X, Y. So V would be -1, then 6. Very good. Any questions on that? The order of these are super important, right? It always has to be X first, Y second. We're going to go over your homework next, and I'm actually going to end the YouTube video before we do that. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and please. Oh, I don't know why we're doing random comments. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It's always interesting here with Math with Mrs. Lehman.